My name is Thorwald Jørgensen. I'm from the Netherlands and I play Theremin. Why not? Because theremin is a very cool instrument, and what I like about it is that you can make it sound like different colors. You can make it sound like a voice, you can make it sound like a cello, like a violin. Yeah, it's really nice, and it blends very well with the orchestra. So yeah, I like it. When the first time when I heard theremin, it was by Clara Rockmore, which is a theremin player from the 1930s. She's from Lithuania, from Vilnius, and she's amazing. And I literally fell in love with how she played. It was so musical and so articulate, and I was just obsessed by how she phrased and everything. And I thought, oh, I really want to learn this too. And I was originally a percussionist. And on percussion, you can also play very expressive, of course, but you can't do the vibrato and you can't do long notes. So I basically wanted to play sort of a violin-like instrument or a singing instrument, and that became the theremin because of Clara Rockmore, because she also played the theremin. Yes, I think with my fingers. It's very melodic and very vocal. So especially when I do vocal pieces, which I will do at the concert tomorrow also, you try to mimic the breathing of a voice and the way the voice phrases and the vibrato. So, and if I would play, for instance, a piece which was originally written for a violin, I would change the vibrato a little bit and try to mimic that sound more. I didn't really study theremin at an academy because there's no study for it yet. But as I said, I studied percussion. I graduated as a percussionist, and after that, I had lessons from somebody from the Concertgebouw Orchestra, which is a famous orchestra from the Netherlands, a cellist, and she really helped me understanding that this basically is an invisible string you play. So you have to have, like positions to play. So for instance, it's a bit out of tune now, but I will try. So if you have a first position and I open, I have an octave, a fifth. So, and then by studying all sorts of finger positions, you can make music out of air. It's very simple. I hope I'm more a musician. That's that's the most important thing, because playing in the air is only interesting for maybe two or 3 minutes, maybe even less. But then if you don't play nice or beautiful, or it's going to be not interesting. So the important thing is to make music and not to make show, because that's secondary. It's also fun, but not the most important thing. No, but that's not weird. It's almost nowhere, because it's 100 years old, of course, which for us is a long time. But for an instrument, it's very short. There's no tradition yet, not really an established tradition. So it's up and coming. So it's not weird that in Ukraine there's no theremin school, because in my country there's also no theremin school. So this will take a while to get it really on the map. But the good thing now is,
you promote this.
Yes, I absolutely do, because I think it's a good addition to the orchestra, or to any kind of ensemble in the classical music, because it has a very distinctive voice of its own. It is a new instrument with lots of possibilities which other instruments don't have. So it can be, if mixed well, it can be very nice. But the good thing about what's happening now with theremin is that a lot of good and famous composers are writing theremin within the orchestra. For instance, like an orchestral instrument, which gives purpose to the instrument, which so there's a demand for theremin players. So people should just start playing it, and then they can also study it and go into the orchestra. Yeah, well, it's not as expensive as a Stradivarius violin, but it's also not cheap. It's scared is not a big. It's really too big of a word. But of course, I'm conscious about it. But
You actually heard today.
Yes, I heard the alarm. And yesterday I was very kindly said, "This is the shelter." So that's a bit weird for me because I never experienced this. But I think it's important to show one way or another, and this is my way of showing to the Ukrainian people and to the world actually, that we are with you and we have your back. And I do it with music, and I hope tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of other people do it in their way, so we can end this very bad situation and we can all live our lives, which that's basically what everybody wants. Just have a good life and live it the way you want it. Yeah, well, that's what we, of course, when we made the program, looked for, because you can do with classical music. It's very easy to put very depressive but very beautiful music on the repertoire. But I don't think it's the situation at this moment to do that music. There's other opportunities to play that kind of music, which is also beautiful. For now, we wanted to have an optimistic a program which was fun for everybody. So even if you're not really trained in listening to classical music, you for sure will have fun listening to this kind of music, because it's basically music for the millions. So that's a good thing. Well, yeah, I would say if you don't know what a theremin is, or if you've never saw one, or come, because the closer to as tomorrow night, you will never be in a while. So everybody who wants to see my instrument, please come to the concert. And afterwards, if we have time, you can even try. Wow. They can even try, as long as they don't touch. So, but they don't. A big thanks to the Dutch embassy, of course, for having me over and supporting. That's their way of support. And like I said, I'm very happy to be here, and I always wanted to come to Ukraine actually, of course under better circumstances, but even with the circumstances, I'm very happy and glad to be here, and we're going to have a very cool concert. And when I get back, all will be normal, and we do another concert.